Good evening, viewers. The MHA, Ministry of Home Affairs, has issued guidelines for the next phase of unlock as well. The big point coming in from there is that Metro Services has been given the green signal. What the Ministry of Home Affairs has said is that Metro Rail will be allowed to operate from the 7th of September 2020 in a graded manner. And there will be standard operating procedures issued by the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs as well as Ministry of Railways in this regard. This will be in consultation with the Ministry of Home Affairs. So in Delhi, for example, where the numbers so far were under control and Delhi government was repeatedly pushing for Metro services to resume, we could see services getting restored from the 7th onwards. In other areas, other big cities where numbers are still going up, there could be, in consultation with state governments, a graded response. Instead of 7th, you could see in your city, if the numbers are high, that's coming in from the 14th. The other big point that is coming in is that schools, colleges, cinemas will continue to be shut. However, students from class 9 to 12 can visit their schools for quote-unquote guidance if their school is outside the containment zone. So those two are the big points. Schools, colleges will be shut. Open-air theatres have been allowed, not cinema halls, but open-air theatres. So amphitheatres, any theatre which is not air-conditioned, which is open-air, has been given the permission to go ahead and open up. International air travel will continue to be restricted. There are some bubbles which are operational. Government of India has signed these air bubble agreements with other countries. So except for those, international air travel will be shut down. In containment zone, lockdown will be strictly implemented till the 30th of September. Containment zones shall be demarcated by the district authorities. There is no restriction on interstate and intrastate movement, is what Ministry of Home Affairs is clarifying. And there are repeated letters from the Union Home Secretary to the State Chief Secretaries as well as administrators of Union Territory that you should not restrict movement of goods because Government of India is allowing this. There are no separate permissions that are required for this kind of movement. So that has been reiterated by Home Secretary and that is being mentioned in these guidelines as well. As far as protection for vulnerable people are concerned, people above 65 years of age, people who have comorbidities, women who are pregnant and children below 10 years of age, they are quote-unquote advised to stay at home except for meeting essential requirements and for health purposes. So once again, senior citizens and kids below the age of 10 are being requested to stay at home. It's not mandatory. The word being used is advised because a lot of 65 plus people are working as well. And my colleague Pallavi Ghosh is here in the studio. I'm handing it over to her with these big points, Pallavi. Cinema is still shut, schools, colleges still shut, but metro services can resume in a graded manner from the 7th.
And that's something which many have been demanding because it facilitates the commuters and people who are going to work also, Arunima, because offices have begun to open up. But, because there are two big news points over here, so we're going to go to it one by one. Let's talk about the metros first. What are the SOPs in place? What is it that has been a deliberation behind this decision? That's one. And second, can you just break down for our viewers, what are the SOPs in place for the opening up of these metros?
Guideline says that the standard operating procedures will be in consultation with the Ministry of Housing and Ministry of Urban Affairs. They will be released in the next few days. But I can tell you for Delhi, for example, after speaking to officials in CISF, I can tell you that they have been prepared. There have been proper marks that have been put inside the coaches as well as inside the stations and platforms to ensure that social distancing is maintained. There is also going to be, more time that will be spent at the station. Earlier, what used to happen was that there would be a crowd there, and because the crowd wanted to get into the metro all in a rush, it would lead to overcrowding. So to avoid that kind of a situation, CISF has also put in proper protocol there. One worry is the air conditioning. In open air situation, study says that you are less vulnerable compared to air-conditioned atmosphere. And metros here in Delhi at least and elsewhere as well, they're all air-conditioned coaches. So that is one concern definitely. But I think after speaking to experts, that call has been taken. Exactly what other standard operating procedures will be there? Will they allow every passenger or allow only government servant or essential service workers to initially avail of the metro services to do a trial basis? That we'll have to wait and see once the formal SOPs are issued by Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs.
And I'm presuming all routes are going to be opened up, or is that also going to be spaced out?
Could Could be. I mean, we'll just have to wait for those guidelines. But CISF, which handles the security, they are kind of prepared to open for Delhi. Again, I'm giving you the Delhi example. For other cities where the numbers are higher, there could be a difference in approach. Delhi, till last week, the mood was upbeat because they felt numbers were under control. Then the numbers started going up again. But till then, Delhi government was requesting that you open up the metros and open it up on all routes. And both DMRC as well as CISF, DMRC which operates the Delhi metros and CISF which provides security, both these agencies were prepared to open it on all routes. But like I said, the guideline says final SOP will be by the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. So we'll just have to wait for SOPs, those SOPs to come. They in any case have 7 to 9 days time. 7th of September is the date given by this MHA guideline for opening up of metro.
One quick question to you before we move on to Deepa, Arunima. At the end of the day, the states also get to decide. Like, for example, West Bengal, Kolkata did not allow many of the flights to come in from, say, Delhi or Mumbai on the grounds that these were high COVID cases zones. So ultimately, the state governments will also find their way out of perhaps not completely implementing this unlockdown rule.
Well, absolutely. In fact, you gave the example of Kolkata. Much before unlock set in, at least a month and a half ago, I remember my colleague Shagata Mukhopadhyay reporting that Mamata Banerjee was in favor of opening up of the Kolkata metro. That was the time when the numbers in that city were not really rising. But then things changed. Numbers quickly changed and a call was taken. In this case also, the word used in the guideline is that the metros will be allowed to open in a graded manner. I think that word graded should be underlined. That gives the state government leeway to decide if in Bengaluru the numbers are going up, if in Chennai or Pune or any other city numbers are going up. MHA guidelines can be deferred by the state government because MHA is very clear in the interest of public health. The district administration, the state administration can ensure more restrictions.
Yes, absolutely. In fact, Deepa is also joining us from Bengaluru. Deepa, I remember you had reported earlier of colleges opening up from 1st of October. Now, those unlockdown rules which have been putting out does give the right to some of the students, if need be, to go for online classes to their schools. We're also seeing a lot of uproar over holding of the NEET and JEE exams. Most of the people accept the fact it's still not safe for schools and students to be asked to come back. What about the state? I mean, Bengaluru, as Arunima is also pointing out, there's a huge spike in cases. What is the mood within the state government? Are they going to implement it or are they going to, have their own reservations?
Well, interestingly, we had asked the education minister just yesterday on when there is the likelihood of schools reopening, because there's been a lot of debate on this after the announcement that colleges will reopen. There's been the question constantly, of course, of when are schools going to reopen. Now, online classes, of course, are continuing across, private schools, but government schools have not started these. Those students studying under the RTE quota are suffering. So this concern has been brought to the government's notice, but the minister was quite candid in saying that he really has no idea when schools can reopen and it would be safe for schools and students to start functioning normally. Are they going to look at a phased manner, as in batch-wise, holding classes for different sections? We are yet to see whether the government will respond to this notification, where in fact there is a mention that students from classes 9 to 12, that is the higher classes, students who are on the brink of approaching their board exams, should be encouraged or could be encouraged to go to their classes, speak to their teachers with the consent of their parents. Now, consent of parents, of course, is a big thing. A large number of parents during a survey done by the government here had said that they would not be comfortable sending their children to school. That would be just too risky. So I really don't know whether that could actually take off on the ground. On the other hand, across rural areas, students have been going to makeshift classes that are held in open air, under the trees, in temple compounds, wherever they've been able to find place. In many districts in Karnataka, they are holding classes. Again, there is a divide over there, because in areas where you have seen huge, heavy rainfalls in the last, say, 1 month, and it's been monsoon season after all, you really cannot have open air classes that are held. So a lot of confusion certainly that's there in the minds of the government also. They would have to be looking at these unlock guidelines and deciding what makes sense for their state, because Karnataka is among the 8 states that is flagged off today by the Ministry of Health as having still reporting very high numbers, about an average of 8,000 to 9,000 cases a day across Karnataka. Bengaluru alone, 2,000 to 3,000. Today's number is 2,990. It has not declined at all. There has been no sign of a decline. There's been, of course, there's a feeling that it's sort of plateauing, but then that was also attributed to lesser number of tests. Tests have ramped up now. Yet we don't see any decline in numbers. There's just been a steady
Deepa,
number reportage.